the Indian cow is actually at the heart of natural farming. Organic is a buzzword, and I mean no one knows what organic is, everyone just keeps saying organic, but we understood that natural farming is what was practiced in India for hundreds and thousands of years. Namaste, my name is Mukund. I am a third generation entrepreneur from a reputed business family called Nandi Agarbatti. My grandparents started this company in 1936, and they have been our role models in the way they have conducted business with the highest ethics, and they always told us that whatever we do, we should keep adding value to the world. So, when I started my entrepreneurial journey 13 years ago, I started a company called Renew IT, and the mission with which I started it was to make computers affordable to everyone. We buy back old computers from large companies, we refurbish them, and we have the best expertise in refurbishment. We have been selling these computers to people who can't afford new ones, and with God's grace, we have been very lucky to work with a lot of CSR organizations, Rotary, Roundtable. We have set up more than 80 to 100 computer labs in government schools. The smile that we get when we go to these labs from the children is amazing, because a lot of them have used computers for the first time in their life. So, this is what I have been up to, but personally I have been very passionate about healthy and sustainable living. Our journey really started around 8 or 9 years ago when I was talking to a friend. One day after playing tennis, we were just talking and the conversation went towards health. So, I said that obviously we will be very healthy because we exercise regularly, we eat a lot of vegetables every day, and we do not stress about too many things. So, my friend said, "Are you sure that is enough to be healthy?" I was very confused, and he looked at the confusion on my face and he said, "Do you know how your food is made?" I said, "Yeah, my mom cooks it with a lot of love." He just started laughing and he said, "How is your food grown, or how is it processed?" I am like, "I never thought about something like that." So, then he started explaining to me about refined oil. He said, "This is something that all of us use every day, but this is one of the most dangerous products which human beings use." He explained how it has petrochemical residues in it, it goes through a lot of heating cycles which makes the oil very toxic, and he is like, "This is what people consume." So, he did not stop there because we were very curious and we were appreciating the information he was sharing with us. So, then he said that the alternative is cold pressed oils, where it is done naturally with zero chemicals and at a very low temperature. So, that oil is very healthy for you, but I still wanted to know more. So, then he said, "Come, let us go to a shop and I will actually tell you which cold pressed oil to buy." So, if my friend had just stopped that day by telling me that cold pressed oil is good, I would have just gone back home and things would not have changed. But he took that extra effort to take me to a shop to actually make me buy the right product. So, I think that was one of the turning points in our life, and that is how the seeds of conscious living was sown. So, my friend just did not stop by giving me the knowledge about which is the right product to use, but he actually took us to a shop and he made us buy the right product. We are really grateful to him, and that was actually an inspiration for us, and we try to continue the same thing when we speak to people and they appreciate the knowledge that is shared with them, then we try to also give them the product. Looking back, I think the seeds of conscious living were sown that day. it's not just sharing the knowledge, but also trying to help people use the right products. From that day, we actually started questioning all the products that we use every day. So, we first switched to buying organic food, but there was always doubts in our mind saying, is it really organic, or are we just paying extra for normally grown food? So, my brother is very passionate and he started visiting farmers. So, we have visited more than 100 farmers in the last 7-8 years, and one thing which really shocked us was many farmers have a separate patch where they grow food for themselves, which is completely natural, where they do not use any fertilizers or pesticides, and then they have another patch which is a distance away where they use commercial farming methods, where they spray pesticides and they use the regular cultivation methods. Then when we started understanding why they do that, they explained that today people want good looking fruits or vegetables, and that is only possible when you spray pesticides so that no insect comes and leaves a mark on the fruits or vegetables. So, they said, see, end of the day you are doing your business, I am doing my business. I have to give what the market wants. The market wants a spotless fruit, then I have to create a spotless fruit. So, we can't really blame them, because as consumers we have pushed them to give us what is not good for us. So, I always tell people, see, every rupee that we spend on some product, we are creating demand for that product. So, more of that will get produced. Instead, if we spend our same money on something else which is healthier for us, which is more natural, then more of that will get produced. So, we should not just blame the farmers saying they are giving us poisonous food, because we have forced them to give us what is good looking. So, then when we understood this, we've been in touch with a lot of farmers. One of the farmers who we buy fruits from is Anantramji. He is actually a world renowned flutist. We didn't know that, but as we started interacting with him more, we understood that Vidwan Anantramji has performed in multiple countries across the world. Till COVID, he used to go every year and give 1 or 2 concerts, and he is 65 plus today, but he is still very passionate about farming, and he started farming only at the age of 55. So, even today he drives more than 200 kilometers every week to ensure that the best methods are practiced. He showed us how he uses cow dung, panchagavya, jivamrita, and how natural farming is done. So, as we started interacting with more farmers, we realized that the Indian cow is actually at the heart of natural farming. Organic is a buzzword, and no one knows what organic is, everyone just keeps saying organic, but we understood that natural farming is what was practiced in India for hundreds and thousands of years. So, it is just using what nature gives us to make sure that we get the healthiest product. And when we actually eat naturally grown food, we can see the aroma is better, the taste is better. Over a period of time, we can understand which food is naturally grown and which food has been synthetically grown. So, because we understood that the Indian cow is very much integral to natural farming, we started doing seva in a few goshalas just to understand more about this. Then we met Kumar Jagirdar ji, who is our mentor and who's taught us everything we know about the Indian cows and how a vital role it plays in our lives. So, every time we meet Kumar ji, we learn something more and new, and he's like an endless ocean of knowledge. So, he told us a few things which we didn't understand when he told us. He said there are 5 poisons that we eat every day, white poisons as he called it. He said milk, sugar, salt, rice and oil. And we were like a little confused as to why he is calling them white poisons. So, he explained how milk is produced. The commercial dairy farming, there is a lot of adulteration. Milk is the most adulterated food product that most of us consume today. So, he said, had you heard of the word called lactose intolerance? I am like, no. He said, but today 1 in 3 people have lactose intolerance. He said, why do you think that is happening? I said, then I did some Google research and all, and I said, when your body doesn't produce the enzyme lactase, then it becomes lactose intolerance. He started laughing and he said, that's what Google tells you. But lactose intolerance is happening because we are drinking the worst possible milk and our body cannot digest it. So, it is just doing this lactose intolerance so that you stop consuming milk. So, he said, do you know what are the adulterants in milk? I said, water sir, Guruji, they use water because they want to make more profit. He said, that is only the least of the adulterants, they use detergent. I am like, detergent? Like, yeah, then how do you get that froth? Nore heng baratte? I am like, so milk hakadre nore baratte. He said, they use a little bit of detergent. Then he said, nimge nyapka idya, do you remember in your biology lab, all your dead fish and frog and all was stored in one liquid solution? I said, yeah. They said, that is also added in milk, so that it preserves the milk. He said, it goes from the farmer to the local collection point to the chiller. So, it takes a long process, more than 24 hours before it gets processed. If they do not add this formalin, the milk will go bad. So, then the farmer loses money. So, they actually add formalin to preserve the milk. And he said, urea is also added. I am like, so now imagine how bad the milk is. So, then he said, do you know one more thing? I am like, Guruji, you have already told me so many things. Idukkinta innen varstagate. What more can be worse than this? So, he said, cows are injected whenever there is any small problem also, they are injected with antibiotics. So, when you see the injection packet it says there is a withdrawal period. The milk should be discarded for 7 days, 10 days, 12 days depending on the injection which is given to the cow. But as a farmer he cannot afford to do it, then he loses income for 7 days or 10 days. So, what he does is, he is like, anyway this is going with 1000 other liters or 10,000 other liters, a little bit of my milk will not make any difference. So, that gets mixed with the 1000 or 10,000 liters of the milk which is going to the central unit. So, what happens is, there is antibiotic residues in the milk. So, when we start drinking that milk, we are actually taking in a little bit of antibiotics into our body. So, the germs in our body start developing something called as antibiotic resistance. So, what is the problem with that? So, say tomorrow I fall ill and I go to the doctor and he says that I need antibiotics. So, then he will always start with the lowest dosage of antibiotics. But because there is already so much antibiotics in my body, the lowest dose will not work. So, then he has to keep increasing the dosage. This is a very dangerous thing. So, tomorrow when someone falls ill and they go to the doctor, then they need to take the highest dosage of antibiotics which has a lot of side effects. It can also be fatal at times. Then he said, have you seen cows on the road? I am like, yeah, what do? They will eat whatever is there, garbage. I have also seen them drink water from the drains. He said, then what is the quality of milk you are drinking? If that is what the cow is eating, imagine the milk it is producing. So, he said, you should always buy milk from a goshala directly. You develop a bond with the cows which are giving you the milk. And when you develop a bond with even the person who is managing the goshala, then you become like family. So, he will never give you poisonous milk. So, this is the answer. He said, people are turning vegan today, that is a fashion. He said, of course, it is better to be vegan than drink the unadulterated milk, but the Indian our Indian diet has always had curd and ghee and buttermilk forever. So actually our body needs all of this. So the answer is not to turn vegan, but actually to go and buy from a goshala. So again, the more we go and make a relationship with a goshala, more goshalas will come up. Then it becomes easier for everyone to get healthier milk. So then milk was one of the 5 poisons that Guruji told us, and he said rice. He's like, what is the color of the rice that you eat? I'm like, white rice. He said, do you know that India had more than 2 lakh varieties of rice. There was red rice, black rice, brown rice, all varieties of rice. But now with all these Monsanto and these other large companies coming in, they have only made sure that everyone eats only one variety of rice. Even the way the rice is designed, these hybrid crops, before a farmer never had to invest money to buy the seed. You grow a plant, you take out some of it and you sow that back into soil, and the next plant comes, the seeds from that itself. But today these hybrid crops, they are designed in such a way that if you put that seed back in the soil, it will not give you the plant. So then Guruji said, now why do you think there are so many fertility clinics in the country? Now Bangalore alone has more than 500 or 300 of authorized fertility clinics and so many more unauthorized. If the food that we are eating has already been designed in a way that it cannot reproduce, that is the same gene which is passing on to us. So again, there was so much going on, and he said, you know how white rice came? I said, I don't know. So why do they polish rice to make it white? I said, so that it is, they remove all the skin which is not good for us. So he said, that is not the thing. When the Britishers came to India, they wanted to export rice. But when you export unpolished rice, more pests attack it. When you polish the rice, it becomes so useless that even the pests don't want to touch it. It has no nutrition, so the pests don't attack it. So it became easier for the Britishers to export the rice. And of course, then the traders started stocking more of polished rice, and eventually the whole country started eating only polished rice. This is not only in India. If you look at the trend across the South Asian belt, China, Vietnam, Thailand, all of their populations today have diabetes. Why? Because rice is the staple diet and they use white rice, which is like eating just the starch, no nutrients, no fiber. So you are just eating something which is only creating more sugar in your body, and you are not getting the other benefits out of it. So then he said, salt. I said, what can be wrong with salt? We are getting it from the nature. We evaporate sea water and we get salt. So then he said, just read about salt and we will talk about it next time. When I read about salt, I realized that almost all the sea salt in the world today has microplastics in it. Why? Because we use plastics every day, and plastic is a non-biodegradable substance. It either goes into the landfill or it goes into the ocean. When it goes into the ocean, since it does not biodegrade, it keeps breaking down into smaller and smaller and smaller particles till it becomes very small, and it is called a microplastic. So now how is salt made? They evaporate the water, salt is left behind, but you cannot evaporate plastic. So there is plastic in our salt. This is not the only thing. When salt is there, it should become lumpy because of the atmosphere. Salt naturally absorbs water, but to make it free flowing and like they show in the ad, you just do this and it will flow like sand. So they add chemicals again, they are called anti-caking agents, so that water doesn't stick to the salt. Now we are eating that salt, there is water inside our body. Now if that water or water, the salt always tries to protect itself from water, how will it get digested? So we are eating this every day. Then sugar has sulfur and phosphoric acid and so many other things. So the things we eat every day are actually the most dangerous, and that is why people today are getting all kinds of diseases. Before, if someone got a cancer or a heart attack, it was very rare. You didn't know, like, oh, you would feel so sad for them. It would be talk of the entire town. But today, 30-year-old gets diabetes or a 40-year-old gets a heart attack. It's normal. Okay, he got it. What to do? Maybe he was stressed. And media has conveniently blamed everything, all these diseases, on stress. Or they say it's because of smoking and drinking and eating junk food. But majority of the people who are getting these diseases, they don't drink, they don't smoke, many of them eat home food more than 80% of the time, then why are they getting it? So this is something which no one wants to talk about, but it's these products that we use every day. So every day what we are eating is putting a tiny little bit of chemicals into our body. Our body is designed to digest all the natural things. It can digest the food, it can digest, but how can it digest chemicals? So the chemicals keep accumulating in our body. But these chemicals are very strange. It is not like a poison where once you take poison you die immediately. So these almost have zero side effect, it just keeps accumulating in our body over a period of time, and suddenly it comes as stage 3 cancer, heart attack, diabetes, and then when we go to the doctor they are like, it's a lifestyle disease. So there is no cure for it. See, when COVID came, everyone became very serious about health. The good thing about COVID was there was a vaccine. So you take a vaccine and you're protected. But with lifestyle disease, there is no vaccine. It takes many years to get the disease. So there is no like do this and today everyone wants to press a button, food will come, you press a button, your entertainment comes. But for a lifestyle disease, you don't press a button and it doesn't vanish away. So what took many years to come will take many years to go. So what happens? Not only that person suffers, the entire family suffers, emotionally, financially. I mean, it is like living hell. So today modern medicine has made everyone's life longer. Today people live to 70, 80, even 90. But the flip side is, because of this lifestyle diseases, people have a prolonged suffering towards the end of their life. People suffer for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, some of them are bedridden, some of them keep taking medicines every day. Today people have mentally budgeted around 20 to 30 lakhs for a medical emergency. It is like Bharat, I mean, it just is a given. Today I think I was recently reading some research report, more than 70% of senior citizens today have one or the other form of lifestyle disease, be it thyroid, BP, cholesterol, diabetes, simple things. I am not even talking about cancer and heart attack, it is just normal today. So as we started going deeper and deeper into conscious living, we realized that people are not even aware. See, every day we have such busy lives, so we keep doing things. Okay, everyone is eating sugar, even I will eat sugar. No one has the time to think, okay, is this sugar good or bad? Is there health problems which can come out of? I mean, you can't expect people, right, to start analyzing whether salt is healthy, sugar is healthy and all that. So we just continue doing things, but whether we make a choice knowingly or unknowingly, the impact is there. Even I will give you another small example. So many of us drink coffee, it comes in a paper cup. So we think paper, but there is a plastic layer inside it, and you put hot coffee right into that plastic and you drink the coffee. So obviously little bit of plastic is going into our body. Whether you make this choice knowingly or unknowingly, plastic has entered your body. So today on an average, a person is consuming 5 grams of plastic every week, which is as much as your credit card. Obviously no one is searching for plastic to eat, it's all happening unknowingly. So where is this coming from? It's like the paper cup I told you. Most of the cutting boards today are plastic. We chop vegetables, little bit plastic gets chipped off, we just push it into our food and we eat it. Sea salt has plastic. So it's the things we use every day. Our microwave uses Tupperware or whatever thing. Again, when we heat food in plastic, a little bit goes into our food. So like this, people are ending up eating 5 grams of plastic every week. So people might say plastic is not a health problem, it's an environmental problem. But once plastic enters your body, it becomes a health problem. It causes all kinds of diseases, from infertility to whatever, hundreds of problems arise because of plastic. So there are so many things which we can change if we know that we have to change it. Today people have money and people don't mind spending money on, if they know that there is a benefit in spending it. So our mission at Conscious Living is to actually help people realize that the products that they are using are not good for them. Whoever wants to change will change. So it's a choice again, right? People might say, as long as I live, I want to do whatever I want to do. But what I always tell people is, it's like you're swiping your credit card. You're assuming that you never have to repay it back because no bill is coming to you monthly. But it's all getting accumulated, and then suddenly it becomes a cancer or a heart attack, and it's too late then. We can't change that time. Instead of spending 20 lakhs or 30 lakhs or 5 lakhs or whatever on medical procedures when you get the disease, it's better to spend 500 or 1000 or 2000 more every month and get the right products. It's like a preventive medicine. Instead of spending on medicine later, your food itself is your medicine. It's not only the food, we use these are called lifestyle diseases, right? Why are they called lifestyle diseases? What is lifestyle? Lifestyle is bungalow, jewelry, fancy car, European holiday. That's not a lifestyle. The lifestyle is what you do every day. It's the food that you eat, the cleaning products that you use. This is what your lifestyle is, because what you do every day, knowingly or unknowingly, is impacting you. So the lifestyle diseases are because of what you do every day. So I was talking about cleaning products. Of course, everyone uses cleaning products every day. So have you just looked at the label on a cleaning product? Most of us haven't. So I just looked at the dishwash and the dishwash liquid and the dish bar. No ingredient is mentioned on it. So how do I know that it is safe? Sir, everyone is using that, how can it be unsafe? So then I did little more research. Some companies at least publish their ingredients on their website, but many companies don't even publish this on their website. So we just assume that it is safe and we continue using it, but a lot of the chemicals used in these products today have been banned in Europe and US, but it's continued to be used in India because they create cancer. They're linked to like hormonal disorders, neurotoxins. There are many problems which arise from the chemicals that are used in these cleaning products. Then I was looking at one by one all the cleaning product. Then we used something to clean the surface and the kitchen slab and all that. There was one ingredient mentioned on that. It was called benzalkonium chloride. So then I started doing research on benzalkonium chloride. So they did research with rats, and the fertility of both male and female rats decreased when this was used to clean their cage once a week. So, with once a week, so much was the like effect on rats. We are using this every day to clean the kitchen slab, then we cook food on that only, we cut vegetables on that only and we eat it. We use it on our floor, on our windows, everything. What will be the effect on our body? So, cleaning products, what has been happening is, we assume that they are our protectors, but what has happened is, unknowingly we have replaced germs by slow poisons. They will show this ad where they will zip that cleaning product will come and they will show 99.99 germs removed. So, 99.99 germs are removed, but what has been added? Slow poison 1, slow poison 2, slow poison 3, and there is no side effect. You are swiping your credit card again, no monthly bill, but it will come someday with interest, with penalty. So, that is the cleaning products. Then the other thing that we do is, okay, we buy the best food, but then how do we cook it? Today most families use non-stick cookware. So convenient, you just put it, you cook it, cleaning is also easy. The chemical used to make non-stick cookware is called Teflon, and Teflon has been linked to all kinds of cancer and other development diseases. So, there is a company called DuPont which has made Teflon. They have already spent billions of dollars on health related lawsuits in the US. In the US, any problem comes, you will sue the company. $1 billion means it is on today's value around 8,000 crores. So, they have spent billions of dollars on just paying these fines or paying this to the people who have got diseases. Today the whole world is using Teflon. So, imagine how much money they have earned knowing that this is a wrong thing. There is this beautiful movie called Dark Waters, it is on Sony Live, you should just watch it. It took the lawyer 20 years to fight against DuPont and for them to discontinue Teflon. But what did they do? Teflon has a chemical called C8 in that. They just replace C8 by C3, C4, C6. So, now it will take 20 more years for someone to prove that this new chemical is dangerous for you. Till then everyone is cooking on that, eating it, and people are dying. How does the company care? They will continue making billions of dollars of profit. So, what we realized is actually our ancestors had all the solutions. So, when we keep speaking to our grandmother, we get so much wisdom. So, she is like, we always used to cook in a clay pot, then we cooked on cast iron cookware. So, the beauty is when you cook food in clay, clay is a slow conductor of heat, so it cooks the food very slowly. So, your nutrition, the nutrients in your food are not damaged. It retains the nutrients for a long period of time. The nutrients are not damaged, it is retained for a longer period of time. And clay is very unique, it has pores, so that the moisture in the food is circulated within the food itself, it is not evaporated. And even oil which is required to be used is very less. So, I was reading about an experiment which was done where they cooked dal in a clay pot, and this dal was put on a train journey for 36 hours in a non-AC compartment in summer. They tested the dal at the end of the 36-hour journey, it had zero spoilage and all the nutrients were intact. So, this is the power of the wisdom of our ancestors. So, if we want to be healthier, live a longer life, we just have to look at them for inspiration. So, the thing is, in India, all the things that we do every day was just made into a ritual or a daily practice. In Ayurveda, there is a term for it called dinacharya. It is basically what you do from the time you get up till the time you sleep. So, what our elders did, they said go and pray in front of the sun, tell this mantra, tell Gayatri mantra 10 times. So, basically what is the thing, of course the mantra has power, but even if you do not tell the mantra, if you just spend 5 or 10 minutes in the sun early morning, gives you a lot of vitamin D and a lot of other benefits. Instead of them trying to explain the science saying sun has vitamin D, it is good for your body, they just said go and chant the Gayatri mantra 9 times or 27 times in the sun. Of course, now we live in a modern age and we do not have to tell everyone has to chant Gayatri mantra. If they want to, they can, they will get the benefits. But early morning, within 1 hour of sunrise, if you read the newspaper, do it in sunlight. If you drink coffee or tea or whatever you want to do, if you want to stretch or do exercise, do it in sunlight. So, small things like this gives us a lot of benefit. So, like one person was arguing with me saying, how do these things matter? So, then I asked him, do you brush every day? He said, yeah, of course I brush every day. I said, how much time do you spend on brushing? He said, around 3 to 5 minutes. I said, what will happen if you do not brush one day? Nothing. But what happens if you do not brush for 1 week, 1 month, 1 year? 2 to 5 minutes a day is what you spend on brushing every day. If you miss once in a while, it's okay. But if you never do it for 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, I mean, I don't have to tell what will happen. You will have bad breath, your teeth will get cavities, every other thing. So, the things that we do every day might look insignificant when we are doing it. Spending 5 minutes in the sun, you can't really say what is happening. But when you keep doing it consistently over a period of time, you can actually see that your skin starts glowing, you become healthier, there is more energy throughout the day. So, there are simple things that we can do on a day-to-day basis. As soon as we get up in the morning, we brush our teeth, of course, but how many of us clean our tongue? Not too many. So, what happens in our body is every night the full digestion happens, and what is not possible for digestion that is thrown away by our digestive system, and it forms a thin white layer on our tongue. So, this is something which we can't digest. If we do not clean our tongue and eat food again, that is again mixing with the food and going back into our stomach. So, now our stomach is trying really hard to digest what it can't. So, our metabolism goes down and we get like bloatiness, so many things. So, if we just take 2 minutes to clean our tongue, we are removing these unwanted products from our body. Then as per Ayurveda, there are a lot of the nadis of the digestive system which end on the tongue. So, when we clean our tongue, those points get massaged. So, it actually activates the digestive system and your metabolism improves. Then most people today drink coffee or tea as soon as they wake up, which is not the best thing for our body, it creates acidity. The best thing that we can do is drink 1 or 2 or how much ever water you can drink in the morning. It activates our organs, it flushes out whatever is there. If you start drinking water first thing in the morning, you will never experience constipation. So, basically you are starting your day by clearing out whatever was there in your body the previous day. Then eat 1 or 2 fruit in the morning. Again, fruits give us a lot of nutrients and even that helps in flushing out the toxins from our body. Ideally, try and give at least a 45 minutes or a 1 hour gap after you eat the fruit before you eat a cooked meal, because fruits digest much faster and cooked meals digest much slower. When both are mixed in our stomach together, then the fruits are getting over processed. So, it is almost like your like acids and all are there in our stomach. So, it is actually burning the fruit or it is fermenting it in our stomach itself, which is not good. So, to get the complete benefit of the fruit, it's better to give at least a 45-minute or a 1-hour gap before or after before a meal ideally, or at least 2 to 3 hours gap after a meal before you eat a fruit. So, it's small things like this if we can do, then we see that our health is much better, and it's just what you do every day. Instead of like reading the newspaper inside the house, try and do it in the sunlight. So, small things like these make a massive difference in our life. The other question that I keep asking myself is, can we really be healthy on a sick planet? Today we are in a very consumeristic world where we keep buying more and more things, which is okay, use them, but every time we buy a product, we are throwing away so much packaging and other things, and to make a product itself there is so many resources used and pollution which is created. But let me just talk about the things like packaging waste. India alone, we produce around like enough packaging waste which can fill 900 cricket stadiums every year. So, where is the packaging used? Every day we use packaging in our food products, our milk packet, anything we buy. So much packaging is created, and a lot of this packaging is plastic, and plastic never disintegrates, and we spoke about microplastics. So, as a family, what we started doing when we realized this is, we said, okay, what is waste, how can we reduce it? We understood there are 3 types of waste which we all produce on a daily basis. One is wet waste, which is essentially all your food waste and related waste. So, in wet waste, a big chunk of it is actually fruit and vegetable peel. Then there is whatever excess food which is cooked, and the food which we throw away, like your chilies or like other things. So, what we started doing is, since we now go to a goshala regularly, we started giving this fruits and vegetable peels to the cow. So, now the cow gets good nutrients from these, and we get healthier milk, and we are also reducing the waste that we are producing every day. Then what we did is, instead of getting the milk in a packet, we started using a steel bottle. So, we have 2 steel bottles. One we give it to the person who gives us the milk in the goshala. So, he gives the milk in that, we keep the other one ready, it is all washed, and so when he comes to deliver one bottle, he takes back the other bottle. So, these 2 bottles keep alternating. So, just by this one simple switch, for 1 liter of milk that we consume every day, we have prevented 730 milk packets from going into the environment. We can just say, okay, one family, what's the big difference? There are 7 billion people on this planet. Everyone uses only one toothbrush, only one earbud. Every day, everyone just throws away one plastic packaging. This is how the problem became massive. So, the solution also is again the same thing. Instead of using a plastic toothbrush, use a wooden toothbrush. Instead of using a plastic earbud, use a paper or a bamboo earbud. So, small things like this if we start doing, instead of producing so much waste, it starts coming down. See, the thing is, people today want everything instantaneously. They are like, oh, but it is never going to be 0. It does not have to be 0. See, our aim might be to climb Mount Everest, but first we have to reach base camp, right. So, the direction is as important as the destination. If we have to go in that direction, then we need to keep taking, if we need to reach the destination, we need to keep taking steps in the right direction. So, if we start becoming conscious about the amount of waste that we are producing as a human species, it is very important, because in nature there is nothing called waste. Before humans came, there was nothing called waste in nature. Something is when a fruit or anything is decomposing, fungus grows on it, that becomes the food for the fungus, and then once it is rotten, the fungus disappears. So, there is nothing called waste in nature. So, nature knows how to like break it out and build it into something else. build it up, break it down, build it up, break it down. That's what nature keeps doing in an endless cycle. So, what nature does is it breaks something down and builds something up, something else with it. So, it's a circular loop. But we humans have started creating things which nature cannot break down, and that keeps accumulating. So, it's up to us to take the right steps, because whether we do it or not, nature doesn't get affected. It's we who are getting affected with all these diseases.